History remembers Genghis Khan. He is a legend, a warrior, a conqueror. School books tell us he was brutal, they tell us he was ruthless, and he was. But they leave out so much. They don't tell us the whole story. They don't tell us about the boy who rose from nothing. They don't tell us about the man who brought peace to a fractured land. This is the story they don't teach in school. This is the untold story of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan wasn't born with that name. He was born Temujin, a child of the vast Mongolian steppes. His early life was marked by hardship, betrayal and loss. He saw the cruelty of the world firsthand. He experienced the fragility of life, and yet he rose above it all. He united warring tribes. He challenged the powerful. He created an empire that would reshape the world. This is the story of a man who defied the odds, a man who challenged the norms, a man who changed the course of history. This is the story of Genghis Khan, the man, the myth, the legend. The year was 1162. The place, the rugged, windswept plains of Mongolia. Here, beneath a sky full of stars, Temujin, the future Genghis Khan, was born. His childhood was far from idyllic. His father, a chieftain, was poisoned by a rival tribe when Temujin was just 9. The young boy, his mother, and his siblings were abandoned, left to fend for themselves in a harsh and unforgiving world. They faced hunger, they faced poverty, they faced the constant threat of violence. But Temujin was no ordinary boy. He possessed a fierce intelligence, a natural charisma, and an unyielding determination to survive. He learned the ways of the steppe. He mastered horsemanship and archery. He became a skilled hunter and a cunning strategist. Tragedy struck again when Temujin was a young man. His wife Borte was kidnapped by a rival clan. This act of aggression ignited a fire in Temujin's heart. He vowed revenge. He rallied his loyal followers and embarked on a campaign to reclaim his wife and punish his enemies. This marked a turning point in Temujin's life. He was no longer just a survivor. He was a leader. He was a warrior. He was a force to be reckoned with. The Mongolian steppes were a chaotic battleground. Countless tribes, each vying for dominance, clashed in endless cycles of warfare. Temujin, driven by a vision of unity, set out to change this. He knew that only a united Mongolia could stand strong against its enemies. His rise to power was swift and decisive. He defeated his rivals one by one, not through brute force alone but through strategic brilliance and an uncanny ability to inspire loyalty. He offered his defeated enemies a choice: join him and prosper or face annihilation. Many chose to follow him, drawn to his vision of a united and powerful Mongolia. Temujin understood that true strength lay not just in military might but also in unity and loyalty. He broke down the traditional tribal structures, promoting individuals based on merit rather than birthright. He forged a new code of law, the Yasa, which emphasized justice, loyalty, and accountability. He fostered a sense of shared identity among his followers, uniting them under his banner. In 1206, at a grand assembly known as the Kurultai, Temujin was proclaimed Genghis Khan, the great Khan of all Mongols. The once fractured tribes were now a unified nation, poised to embark on an unprecedented era of conquest and expansion. Genghis Khan's rule was not solely defined by conquest. He was a shrewd ruler who understood that a lasting empire required more than military might. He implemented policies that were surprisingly progressive for his time, promoting religious freedom, advancing women's rights, and establishing a meritocratic system of governance. Religious tolerance was a cornerstone of his rule. Unlike many rulers of his era, Genghis Khan allowed freedom of worship throughout his empire. He recognized the importance of respecting the beliefs of conquered peoples and saw religious diversity as a source of strength rather than division. Under his rule, Muslims, Buddhists, Christians, and other religious groups coexisted peacefully. Genghis Khan also challenged the traditional gender roles of his time. He granted women a level of freedom and agency unheard of in many parts of the world. Women in the Mongol Empire could own property, inherit wealth, and even rise to positions of power. They rode alongside men in battle and played active roles in political and economic life. These progressive policies, combined with his military genius, helped solidify Genghis Khan's rule and paved the way for the expansion of the Mongol Empire. The Mongol Empire, under Genghis Khan's leadership, grew at an astonishing pace. It stretched from the Pacific Ocean in the east to Eastern Europe in the west, encompassing a vast territory and diverse cultures. This unprecedented expansion had a profound impact on global trade and cultural exchange, ushering in an era known as the Pax Mongolica, a period of relative peace and stability across much of Eurasia. One of the most significant consequences of the Mongol conquests was the revival of the Silk Road. This ancient network of trade routes, which had fallen into disuse, was revitalized under Mongol rule. Genghis Khan recognized the importance of trade and took steps to ensure the safety and security of merchants traveling along these routes. He established a system of passports, provided safe passage for caravans, and cracked down on banditry. The Pax Mongolica facilitated a flourishing of trade and cultural exchange between East and West. Goods, ideas, technologies, and artistic styles flowed freely across the empire. Merchants from China, Persia, India, and Europe converged in bustling trading cities like Samarkand and Bukhara, exchanging silks, spices, porcelain, and other precious commodities. This period of intense interaction had a profound impact on the world. It fostered economic growth, stimulated intellectual and artistic creativity, and facilitated the transmission of knowledge across vast distances. The Mongol Empire, under Genghis Khan's leadership, played a pivotal role in connecting the East and West, laying the groundwork for the interconnected world we live in today. The Mongols, often portrayed as ruthless warriors, were also surprisingly innovative. Genghis Khan understood the importance of communication and logistics in managing his vast empire. He implemented a number of groundbreaking innovations, including the first international postal system and the adoption of paper currency, which revolutionized communication and commerce across Eurasia. The Yam, as the Mongol postal system was known, was a marvel of its time. It consisted of a network of relay stations strategically positioned throughout the empire, allowing for the swift and efficient transmission of messages, goods, and even people. Mounted couriers, known for their endurance and horsemanship, could cover vast distances in remarkably short periods, ensuring that Genghis Khan could stay in constant contact with even the farthest reaches of his domain. Recognizing the limitations of using precious metals for trade across such a vast empire, Genghis Khan embraced the use of paper currency. This innovation, adopted from the Chinese, simplified trade and facilitated economic growth. The use of paper money reduced the need to transport heavy coins and allowed for more efficient transactions. These innovations, along with the Mongols' tolerance for diverse cultures and their promotion of trade, contributed to the empire's prosperity and its lasting impact on the world.